So there are some questions to the sutra yesterday. Some people are asking Wang Po questions. We take two of these questions this morning. So the question is, what is the Buddha? And now you have known now that the Buddha is the absolute. The Buddha is the pure mind. Wang Po says, mind is the Buddha, while the cessation of conceptual thought is the way. Once you stop arousing concepts and thinking in terms of existence and non-existence, long and short, other and self, active and passive and such like, you will find that your mind is intrinsically the Buddha, that the Buddha is intrinsically the mind, and that mind resembles a void. Therefore it is written that the true Dharmakaya resembles a void. Seek for naught beside this, else your search must end in sorrow. Though you perform the 6 paramitas for as many eons as there are grains of the sand in the Ganges, adding also all other sort of activities for gaining enlightenment, you will still fall short of the goal. Why? Because these are karma-forming activities, and when the good karma they produce has been exhausted, you will be born again in the ephemeral world. Therefore is it also written that the Sampo Gakaya is not a real Buddha, nor a real teacher of the Dharma. Only come to know the nature of your own mind, in which there is no self and no other, and you will in fact be a Buddha. That is, of course, the most famous question. What is the Buddha? What is Christ? Mind is the Buddha. Mind is Christ. While the cessation of conceptual thought is the way. Cessation of conceptual thought means that slowly letting go of all the noise in the mind. We are forming ideas all the time, and mostly all this goes on because of judgments, prejudices, opinions. In Russia, I had a guy who came because his wife had said he should come, and he was a lawyer. Yuri was his name. He was a very loving man. And he had had a great severe brain damage in his brain. These big arterial vessels in his brain has broken, and most people die when they have this kind of. But he did not die, but his whole life was changed. And he used to be a very active, assertive lawyer, and now he was very feminine, and he could not find out what's going on in himself, and he was very depressed. And we had him there for 10 days, and it was a miracle for him. And he was very concerned about what will happen to my wife and my family. And he was forming all the time beliefs and opinions about what will happen. And he got so emotional and depressed out of all these ideas. So I, of course, asked him this very famous question: can you really know for sure that your family will starve? Can you really know for sure that they will not make it? And he got more and more free in his mind, because he cannot know. But we still go on entertaining all our opinions about things, even though we don't know. So all this is, we had to slowly learning to sink deeper and deeper and deeper, like we're doing here now. While the cessation of conceptual thought is the way. Don't try to find out what this enlightenment is. Just let go of all thoughts. That's the whole teaching. You cannot figure it out. The mind don't know anything about it and will never know about it. And it's absolutely waste of time to think about it. Once you stop arousing concepts and thinking in terms of existence and non-existence, long and short, other and self, active and passive and such like, you will find that your mind is intrinsically the Buddha, that the Buddha is intrinsically mind, and that mind resembles a void. A void means, in Buddhist terms, something we cannot talk about. Something beyond what we can talk about. And it's the right expression of it. Cannot talk about it. You can know it, but you will not be able to say what it is. Therefore it is written that the true Dharmakaya resembles a void. Dharmakaya is enlightenment. Seek for naught beside this, else your search must end in sorrow. All your other search, where you are moving around in great ideas and great concepts, and you try. In Russia also somebody said to me, yeah, in the last course I felt so much have changed. I said to the person, my work here is not to change you. I'm not at all interested in change. I'm interested to that you realize that which is not changing. I don't give any credit to whatever is changing in you. You become more loving, or you become more this or more that. It all passes and changes. And this game, be rid of that game. It's not about feeling good. It's also not about feeling bad. It's nothing to do with all this. And now I really feel I'm moving towards the goal. It's the mind. It's just new concepts you're entertaining. I really feel I'm getting closer now. No way. It's just ideas and concepts. So people talk about, oh, I really feel so many deep changes has happened to me. Yeah, it's okay, but it's not really it. Find that which is not changing, and you're free. Otherwise, that which has changed will change again to something else. When we will learn that, how many lives do we have to come here and dance around and fool around to see that it's all changing and moving, that it is not in that? We are building sand castles, and in the evening it's washed away by the river or the sea. So don't, because all these are karma-forming activities, and when the good karma they produces has been exhausted, you will be born again in the ephemeral world. Therefore it is also written, the Sambhogakaya is not a real Buddha, nor a real teacher of the Dharma. You must have heard, so Sambhogakaya, it is the bliss body. That's what the Buddhists call bliss. And if you go to Hinduism or to the Indian old tradition, they will say Satchidananda, that the truth, Sat, Chit, awareness, and Ananda is blissfulness. These three is very, very close to express Dharmakaya, the absolute. But the moment, even bliss, you have moved away. Because still bliss is in the realm of experience. And even let go of that. Even bliss, even, don't get attached to bliss. That's not the source. The source is beyond even bliss. That's why I love this guy here. He says even the Sambhogakaya is not a real Buddha. Not even the bliss, which you will encounter. A tremendous blissfulness and reliefness, but don't stop here. Just rest even deeper. Don't cling to anything. Like he says, leave everything behind, David White. Leave everything behind, everything. Step forwards on this high place. And say the old rough prayer of love, the old rough prayer of love. When you leave everything behind, there comes a tremendous love in your heart. Even leave that. There comes such a big love. when your mind gets silent. And this love is a tremendous help, but even that, let go. And stare in to this bottomless bottom. And you're not going to see your face. It's not what he means. You're going to see something that is beyond concepts. Only come to know the nature of your own mind, in which there is no self and also no other. And you will in fact be a Buddha. You become a Buddha, you will never know the Buddha. Second question. So allowing that the enlightened man who achieves the cessation of conceptual thought is Buddha, would not an ignorant man, on ceasing to think conceptually, lose himself in oblivion? Wang Po. There are no enlightened men or ignorant men. There is no oblivion. Finish. Yet, though basically everything is without objective existence, you must not come to think in terms of anything non-existent. And though things are not non-existent, you must not form a concept of anything existing. For existence and non-existence are both empirical concepts, no better than illusions. Therefore it is written, wherever the senses apprehend resembles an illusion, including everything ranging from mental concepts to living beings. Our founder preached to his disciples not but total abstractions leading to elimination of sense perceptions. In this total abstraction does the way of the Buddha flourish, while from discrimination between this and that, a host of demons blazes forth. I like this. It's a good answer. Because people believe, now this guy asks, allowing that the enlightened man who achieves the cessation of conceptual thought is Buddha, would not an ignorant man, on ceasing to think conceptually, losing himself in oblivion? So this is one of the questions that is asked. So stupid people that have no thoughts, are they Buddhas? People that are just stupid and intelligent, not intelligent, are they Buddhas? It's not about thinking or no thinking. It's going beyond both thinking and no thinking. So of course an intelligent, stupid person may not have any thoughts, but doesn't mean he's a Buddha or she's a Buddha. And I just remember that was one of the spiritual ideologies in Pune those days, because our master kept on saying us to be no mind. So everybody who was thinking was just in their minds. So, get out of your mind, for God's sake. You're just in your fucking mind. It became a kind of, total misunderstood. And even if you had a higher university degree, you were just fucked in your mind, Totally lost in your mind. It was better if you have no higher degrees. Then you were closer to be a Buddha. And this is totally wrong. That's why I never talk about no mind. Because I don't want you to form any dualism like that. That you have to be stupid. That you had to not use your mind. It actually takes an incredible intelligence to reach here, to be able to sit here. It's not for stupid people that has no thoughts. No way. And I mean, that was never Osho's intention, but that's what we hear. He was ridiculing everybody who had a PhD, in his lectures. They were absolutely hopeless. No hope for them. But that was not his point. His point was that if you're totally engaged in your mind and you believe that you can reach it through your thinking, you will not reach. But in the therapy group and the rest of us that was totally unaware of what it really is about, it would be turning into some kind of Are you just in your mind, you know? Hey, try to get out of this mind. So, no. And that man, he's asking that question. Allowing that enlightened man who achieves the cessation of conceptual thought is Buddha. Would not an ignorant man, on ceasing to think, conceptually lose himself in oblivion? So it's not about thinking or no thinking. You just move and move and move, more and more letting go of conceptual thoughts. And there certainly comes a moment where there's no thinking, but it is not that moment. No. There comes a moment where you go beyond even thinking and no thinking. This is the Dhammakaya. Because they're relative terms, thinking and no thinking. They are depending on each other. And already in no thinking, there's thinking. And in thinking, there's no thinking. I cannot say it. But Wang Po is very good here. There are no enlightened men or ignorant men. There is no oblivion. To be enlightened is to see that. Somebody said in the train when we were going back from Ukraine, said to me, I had this awakening many years ago where I saw everything and I understood everything. I said, there's nothing to do with enlightenment. It's all concepts. And Martinus, who have seen the whole beginning of the universe and the end of it, is not enlightenment. It's spiritual experiences. He still believes it's real. That the world was created and it destroys is real. He has not understood. He just has some very, very great insights about some very deep things in Maya. But it's all Maya. Whatever you talk about that you have understood about this great existence, that I have seen every subtle law that governs existence. And I have seen that human beings was once androgyne, they were once one sex, and they will be again. And all this is Maya. It's not, you're not clear. You're still engaged in concepts in the mind. Very, very fantastic. You understand, it's very important what I say. So, enlightenment is not to understand anything. I have understood everything. Go away and do another sadhana. This is just the beginning. I have understood everything. This is. I know the mind is, but that's why I like Wang Po here. There is no men and no ignorant men. As long as you see anybody here, as long as you see anything real in this apparent reality, you are not awakened. If you believe it's there, the way it appears, men, wise men and stupid men, trees and animals, rivers and mountains, if you see it as real, you have not seen. It's empty. And to see that it is all empty of any self-nature, you suddenly know it's all the enlightened mind. It's all the mind. And what is this mind? A pure brilliance. A pure... You cannot say what it is. It's beyond all this. But it appears as the world. It appears as the other. It appears as the body. There are no enlightened men or ignorant men. And there is no oblivion. This can be enough for you to wake up. That there are no enlightened men and no ignorant men. To see that, to see through all these ideas, to stop believing that they have some kind of separated reality is to wake up. Suddenly it all becomes yourself. So dearly intimate. And that's why we call it oneness. But it's not that the trees are intimate with you. It is the true nature of the trees. But you will sense it as a communion. You will sense it as a love and compassion and concern. But it's not really that you become a tree. No, you become that which is everything. Yet, though basically everything is without objective existence, you must not come to think in terms of anything non-existent. Okay, Nukunu, so you say it doesn't exist. No, I don't say so. I say it's beyond existence and no existence. So you say, Nukunu, that all these trees and the rivers are not existing. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the truth is beyond these terms. The truth appears into existence and non-existence. But then it has become Maya. The moment it becomes into time and space, the moment truth enters time and space, it becomes Maya. That's why the word Maya and matrix come from the same Sanskrit root, that which can be measured. Can be measured. Matrix, Maya, and meter is coming from the same Sanskrit word Maya, which basically means that which can be measured. And matter, yeah, that's right, matter. It can be measured. It has extension, and it appears in time. And that's why we love Maya, and Maya is a goddess, because Maya is the truth. But it just appears as something else. Maya is Brahman, the absolute. Maya is the Buddha, because Maya is the mind. All this is Maya, it's the mind. But go deeper. Let the mind become silent. Let go of all conceptual thoughts about meaning and meaningfulness and this and that and right and wrong and you and me, and you will come to the essential nature of Maya, which is beyond time and space. And so intimate, like Viveka said yesterday, I cannot say it's outside or inside. And it's so close. Yet, though basically everything is without objective existence, you must not come to think in terms of anything non-existent. And though things are not non-existent, you must not form a concept of anything existing. For existence and non-existence are both empirical concepts, no better than illusions. So when he says illusions, he talks about appearance. He doesn't say it in a negative way that we do. It's just the way that the mind appears in time and space. That is illusion. That is Maya. It's also called samsara. Therefore it is written, whatever the senses apprehend resembles an illusion, including everything ranging from mental concepts to living beings. I say it again, that whatever the senses apprehend, whatever the senses can conceive, get hold of, is an illusion. And I mean, I know you're sitting here and you're brought up in a society that believes in what the senses tells us, because our whole science is building on it. What can be perceived by the senses, objectively. Yeah. And it was a great, great revolution in science, when we moved from speculative thinking, how many angels can be standing on the tip of a needle without falling off? That was the scholastic times. And people were wondering about the universe and speculating about it. Why is a stone falling down if you lift it up? Because it's the nature of the stone to fall down. That was an explanation. We were speculating. That was the scholastic time. And then came the beginning of the science, when they start experimenting and investigating and using the senses. And then we start having the science we have today. And now we are standing at the threshold of a new era where we start understanding that the matter is not really there. So now we will move into a third understanding, even deeper. So whatever the senses are telling us is not true. It's an illusion. And science are dealing with illusions. Our founder, that is Bodhidharma, preached to his disciples, not but total abstraction leading to elimination of sense perception. Pull away from everything. There's nothing in it. Be quiet. My teacher also said to me, Papaji, be quiet and stay as heart. Just be quiet and stay as heart. That's all it needs. He was against meditation because people don't know what it means to be quiet. They're just sitting and entertaining concepts and ideas when they meditate. In this total abstraction does the way of the Buddhas flourish. While from discrimination between this and that, a host of demons blazes forth. This is Zen. That's what I love with Zen, these kind of expressions. And can you hear he has some kind of humor? Wang Po, kind of very dry humor. But I can sense him somehow. He's smiling. A host of demons blazes forth. I'll read the last one again. In this total abstraction does the way of the Buddhas flourish, while from discrimination between this and that, a host of demons blazes forth.